Hey everyone, it's Linda. Thanks for tuning in. I have a daily dose ready for you. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is a collective energy transmission. It's not only relevant on the day that it's uploaded. So if you find these messages relevant for you, then this reading is yours. Here we have where you are now, the challenge you face, the resources you can use, the hidden forces, potential outcome, and one room for the spiritual lesson. We have 3 2s in your reading. We also have the Judgment card, which is number 20, which is also a 2. So there's a lot of energy in this reading about duality, and I feel like there's a strong feeling of uncertainty coming up here for you, for whoever this reading is for. Just give me a second here to tune in. I mean, this is going to be a really specific message, so I don't know that this is for everybody watching. But what I feel in this energy is that there could be a new situation showing up where, or actually maybe it's not new. This is new or not new, it's not relevant. There could be an energy here of uncertainty about a communion or a connection with another person. And for some of you, there's a feeling of being overwhelmed by someone, by their energy, or by the circumstances themselves. Like there are certain things about the reflection that you're getting from another person that is making you feel a little confused about yourself, perhaps, or about them. It may be making you feel like you want to step back a little bit so that you can actually see with greater clarity what is really relevant for you in the dynamic. So I feel like there's this confusing energy of like, okay, what's mine, what's theirs, what do I need to do here, what do I need to see about myself, what is relevant for me, and what do I need to clearly delineate for myself as being not mine, you know? Because I think that can sometimes be an issue in relationships when things come up, especially if you're buying into that whole cliche of like, if something's triggering you, then it's a problem with you, sort of thing. I don't always necessarily agree with that. So that could be something here that maybe you just need to hear that. Maybe that's part of what this energy in this reading is, that you just need to hear from someone else that just because you feel triggered by another person doesn't mean that you have to take on the weight of that issue and make it about some problem that you need to fix with yourself, because that might not be true at all. And that's why I feel like the Judgment card is in reverse here. I feel like this card in this position, I feel like you might be afraid that the things that you're feeling might make you feel like you're actually being a judgmental person about what you're seeing in the dynamic, and that might be making you feel this sensation of being stuck or overwhelmed or confused by the energy. I hope that makes sense. I'm still getting into this energy. I'm not fully there yet, so be patient with me. I want to look at the star now, because the star is in the position of what are the hidden forces. So, I mean, this is actually really clear in this reading for me. What's happening here is a healing. The Judgment as well, even though the Judgment's in reverse, it might feel a little bit dark and heavy, is actually a good clearance happening here. Like there's an energy of clearance, there's an energy of healing, of renewal, of regeneration. It's just that I think in a moment where things are a little bit sticky, there's like a feeling of maybe friction that is causing some overwhelm and maybe a lack of clarity and uncertainty within you about, again, what's yours and what's theirs. Like where do you need to place yourself in this situation to feel clear about being sure that you are taking responsibility and you are doing everything you can to be the best person in a relationship where you are actually acting in the right ways to support your own growth and another person's. This rune here is in the position of what is the spiritual lesson, and this one is called Tiwaz, and it's about knowingness and strength and clarity, rationality. It's self-leadership and authority. There's justice and honor and victory involved here. So how I'm seeing that in relation to the rest of the reading is that I do feel that there's something here that I feel like you're seeing that another person's behavior, and it may be feeling a little triggering to you. And I pretty much feel like I've already said what this reading is about earlier. I feel like I kind of hit the nail on the head there, but I'm just going to reiterate it. What I feel here is that there is some healing happening here, where the healing is happening as a result of some kind of tension or friction that's occurring in your dynamic with another person. And you might be feeling confused about what another person's behavior or actions or communication is making you feel, because it's triggering you in some way. And that might be making you feel confused because you have perhaps are invested in this idea that if someone else is triggering you, then you also have a problem. But that might not actually be the case here. You might just need to be like kind of separate a little bit the wheat from the chaff here and just see where you are. Place yourself in the right position and let the other person be where they are. And I feel like I need to say, you don't need to take on something that's not yours here, because there is a little bit of an overwhelming energy. And I do feel like you are doing your very best to be responsible and take ownership of your feelings and thoughts and actions. And the Judgment here in reverse, I feel, is very clearly saying that what's happening here is like you might be afraid that in what you clearly feel you're experiencing might actually be coming across as judgmental towards another person. But I think with this Two of Swords here in this position, it's more about you being able to be clear and honest and see for yourself what's actually really relevant for you, and not take on things that are not yours. I hope this is making sense. Don't take on what's not yours. That's what I feel. There is a strong healing energy here in the cards with the Star and the Judgment. And I feel like the rune is pretty loud and very telling in this reading in the position of the outcome. I think that in this particular moment, and of course always in the readings the roles can be reversed, so it's up to you to be honest, to make sure that you're getting the most out of these transmissions here and that you're not missing out on some valuable insight because you don't want to see things for what they are. So place yourself where it's relevant. But I feel like in this situation, the healing energy is available here, and it could just be simply about you, rather than feeling overwhelmed by another person's behavior, just needing to step back a little bit and perhaps clearly communicate what you can see is happening with another person, rather than feeling like you need to take on that energy and in some ways be responsible for it. I hope this is clear. I do feel here with this Two of Swords in reverse that what could be relevant here for you is just to take half a step back, just to get a little bit of space, because right up in it here it could be a little bit overwhelming and confusing. And you could be getting, because of the proximity you have to this person, their actions, thoughts, words and behavior might be affecting you more than they need to be, to the point where it's a little bit confusing to see, okay, is this mine or not? Right? So just taking a little tiny step back to give a little bit of breathing room could help clear things a little bit. And in a moment when it feels right, when you feel like you have the clarity and you're able to communicate from a compassionate, wise, loving and neutral place, you could be able to step into a space here where using integrity and using unconditional love and all those qualities I just mentioned, you might be able to communicate something to another person that you're able to see because you've taken a step back, and with having just that slight bit of space between you and the circumstance, you might be able to then see with better clarity what's really going on and communicate and express that in a way to another person so that there can be a really deep healing here. But I think if you're too close and up in it, you might be confused and you might feel uncertain about what you're able to see because you might be worried that you're being judgmental towards a person. But actually with the healing card here of the Star, that's an overwhelmingly loud energy for this reading that I feel is available to you, and that you just maybe need to trust yourself a little bit more here and step out of this place of feeling like you always have to take on what's happening in a dynamic with another person. It's not always a reflection. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. Another person's behavior doesn't always have to mean that you have that problem too, or that you need to do something about that thing. It's not always true. In this situation, I feel like the role you have here is to be able to step back from something so that you can understand it with more clarity and be able to be in a position of leadership, self-leadership mostly, and without any ego. There's a lot of humility is required to be able to do what you can with what's possible here. I hope I've made that clear. Being able to communicate something to someone that you can see without them feeling judged and without them feeling beat up on or blamed or victimized or anything like that. It requires delicate use of language. It requires a lot of humility and compassion, and that's what's needed from you in this circumstance to be able to bring about a shift that's available. The communication part of this reading is really, really important. My friends, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that is helpful. I hope there's some things in there you can work with. Feel free to leave any comments or questions in the comments below if you have anything to say. I would love to get to know you. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.